We're going to continue our look at some of the drawing tools, different kinds of drawing tools that are in After Effects. And in this case, we're looking at a drawing tool that can allow us to create animation on the fly, and that is the Motion Sketch tool. This is what we're going to be creating, this little kind of drone animation. I've put together some artwork, and we might bring that into After Effects and do a little bit of setup before we look at the Motion Sketch panel. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to import that bit of artwork that I believe is on the desktop. And we'll retain those layer styles in the composition, layer sizes, sorry, and let's have a look at that. Now I've opened up this, so I've created this composition at the last size, which is 10 seconds there, which is fine. I'm going to do a couple of layers of nesting here, or pre-composition. I've got some propellers here. I've got a little light that's going to turn on and off, and I've got the drone itself, and then I've got a background layer. So I want to pre-compose a kind of drone layers, and we can go up to composition, layer, and come all the way down to pre-compose there. And oops, there's my pre-compose panel. I'm going to call this drone animation. And I'm going to move all those attributes into that new composition. So you can see here that's all collapsed down into one composition. And I'm going to go inside that composition there. And I want to pre-compose this again. And you'll see why a little bit later, but I'm going to select all those layers and pre-compose. I just right clicked on all those layers there, and I can find the pre-compose action, and I'm going to call this one drone loop. So inside the drone loop, we'll go inside the drone loop, we're going to put together a little animation of the propellers moving around and the light turning on and off. And in the drone animation, we'll sequence those into a 10-second kind of sequenced loop. Okay, so I'm going to change the composition length of our drone loop down to 1 second. Go OK. And the propeller, I'm going to transform the position property of the propeller. This is going to be some very simple animation. I'll put a keyframe there, and oops, I'm going to just move that across to the right, and I'm going to copy that all the way along. So every frame, and I might be able to copy a few more of those. So it's going to give us a kind of an effect of those rotary blades spinning around. Very simple. The other thing that we're going to do is turn the light on and off, and just have the light kind of flashing on and off. It's looking very droney. Let's go into the drone animation, and you can see now that the instance of that drone animation is only 1 second long. I don't want to repeat that across the 10-second timeline. So I'm going to duplicate a whole bunch of these, or 9 of them, Command D on the keyboard. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'll select all of those and right click on their instances and go to, where is it? keyframe assistant and then sequence layers. And I'll click OK. And we'll see that they're spread out across that 10 seconds. And now I've got like a 10-second loop of our drone. And if I go to the top level composition, I can see now that we've got a loop that goes for the entire length of that composition. And now I want to animate my drone across the canvas there. So I'm just going to move it off the canvas, position it kind of there, and I'm going to make sure that I have the motion sketch panel active or on screen, and it must be there somewhere amongst all of these panels. Somewhere in here. Oops. If only I could find it. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay, so here's our motion sketch panel, and what we can do with the motion sketch panel is we can actually draw in real time on the canvas, and the motion sketch tool will record that animation for us and insert the appropriate keyframes, which is pretty good and quite helpful if you want to get a quick animation off the ground. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to, oops, I've lost it again. There it is. I'm going to select the asset that I want to animate, and I'm going to change some of the settings here. I'm going to add some smoothing. Oh, first of all, I might just take the smoothing all the way down to 0. I'm going to leave the capture speed at 100%, but you can actually drop that down so it's much slower, so that you're kind of capturing in slow-mo. And I'm going to have the wireframe option selected. That just helps the computer's RAM a little bit. And then I'm going to start capture. And when I start moving this asset, it's going to record keyframes for me. Okay, so I'll have a go at it. You can see that I'm creating a kind of a motion path there with keyframes. And I'll let it go. And you can see that it's created like a heap of different keyframes in there. And does actually follow that path. It's a little bit jaggy. Let's have a look at all the keyframes there under the position property. Let's undo that, and we'll do that again, but we'll incorporate a little bit of smoothing to the motion sketch. So just removed all those keyframes. Let's add some smoothing of around about a value of 30. And when I start the capture this time and draw out my motion path, you can see that there's a lot less keyframes added to the timeline, and that my motion path is actually kind of a lot smoother. So let's render that and have a look at the playback. That looks nice and smooth. And we've used the motion sketch panel to create that animation by actually drawing in real time. After Effects will record a series of keyframes for us and do some of the hard animation work for us.